Hello, good morning, and happy January 1st. I can't remember the exact moment I decided to do this vlog, but it was definitely an amalgamation of a couple different instances. I should probably tell you what this vlog is, in case you want to click off. I'm gonna do a romance vlog. I meant to do it last year, and I just didn't pan out. One of the things that made me want to do it was when my friend Madison came to visit last spring. Madison is a romance author, as well as working for a romance publishing company. She brought me books, as is the toll for entering my home if you come to visit me. I will give you free lodging, but you must bring me physical books. In doing so, of course, she brought me romance books because that's what she had. That was the tokens that she offered me, and she gave me a lot of different romance books, but she also gave me priest, saint, and sinner. I looked at these and I went, I don't know what to do with these. And she was like, you should read them. And I was like, okay. And then I saw that the author was Sierra Simone, and I've accidentally read a Sierra Simone before. I thought that this book was this book. I don't remember the name of the books anymore, but they both had thorns in the name. I had seen one of the books mentioned all the time as like a really fun fantasy romance, and I accidentally picked up this book instead and listened to it on a treadmill and fell on my face. This was so many years ago, but it was one of those things where I'm like, got it, Sierra Simone. Wow. Sierra Simone is also one of my friend Olivia Savannah's favorite romance authors. She talks about her a lot. She's brought up on the channel, she's brought up on the Instagram a lot, and I went, Sierra Simone. I know that name. I know this name. I've had trauma and I've had curiosity with this name. I'm not sure if this is for me, but we are going to find out together, but not yet, because from my research, I found out a couple of things. First off, this pepper score, I really don't actually know how to read the pepper scores, but from the other pepper scores I looked into, this pepper score might be a little too high to start this vlog on. I'm not ready to read this book yet, so I'm going to set it down, and I'm gonna go over a few ground rules for this vlog so that we're all going in this together, understanding the situation and the circumstance, so it doesn't get weird. First, this is not to dump on romance. I'm not here to make fun of romance. I'm here to read outside my own comfort zone and break the stigma that I personally have around myself, is that I'm not a romance reader. I'm not romantic. This is something that edgelord Jade from like 2006 held on to as I grew up with my partner that I had been with when I was 15 or 16. I kind of just was like, I don't do Valentine's Day because I'm 15. And he was like, that's so cool because I'm 16. And then we continued to not do that. And then at some point I was like, hey, why don't we do Valentine's Day? And it was this wild take, and we did Valentine's Day, and it was fine. Like, it was perfectly fine. A lot of the time I don't think about it. A lot of the time I forget about it. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't not me. Being in a long-term loving relationship stunts you sometimes. I do this sometimes with other things I'll notice, specifically around like romance or connection. Some of it's the Aquarius in me, but some of it I think is just me just not being in my comfort zone and then never stepping out of it to see if it's something I like again. That's what the energy we're going into. I'm going in open-minded, I'm going in curious, and I'm going in trying to figure out what I like and breaking down stigmas about me just not liking the entire romance genre, which I've since found out it can also be broken up into many different genres, including like fiction, rom-coms, spicier stuff, romantasy, of course. I'm not touching romantasy because it doesn't feel enough outside of my comfort zone. I read a lot of fantasy with very strong romantic subplots, so unless I see something that really stands out to me, I don't think I need to go that route. We're staying open-minded. I'm not taking anything off the table, I'm just saying that that's not a primary focus. I also don't think I'm going to read any Taylor Jenkins read because I already know she has a superpower. It doesn't matter what she writes, I will enjoy it. I know that she writes romance specifically, and I recently read Atmosphere. I didn't even think of it as a romance until my friend Soleil brought it up. I guess that was entirely about love and said a love story on the front cover. It was also devastating. Taylor Jenkins Reid literally has the superpower of making me care about tennis, so she can't be trusted for this experiment. She's too godlike. I did look up some big names and I realized there's a lot of big names. Romance is a really big genre. So I brought in my friend Soleil, who has her own channel, which I will link down below and up above. She's fantastic, she's goofy, she's funny, she's quirky, and she also really likes romance, despite possibly having a different taste in romance than I do. She does know my taste very well. She gave me some names alongside me looking up some other names. Sierra Simone I already covered as being Madison and Olivia Savannah. Tessa Bailey I found on my own them via Googling. Super proud of myself. And then Hannah Bonham Young is one that Soleil brought up, and I recognized the name. As soon as I saw the cover, I remembered Rochelle from Good Morning Dreamer talking about this. It's a memory in my head. We shouldn't be trusting any of this, but I remember her saying it was one of the books that was pivotal for her getting onto not only BookTube, but it started her back up with reading again, that it has a limb difference, and having a limb difference herself, that's more heavily weighted to me. It being such a pivotal thing for her and me enjoying her reading so much, that definitely entered the list. So Out on a Limb is one of the books that I definitely plan on reading. Books and Lala mentioned Kristen Greenwood as one of her like 5 stars. I do have similar taste to Books and Lala when it comes to like strange fiction, horror, thrillers, that sort of thing. We might also have the same taste in romance. It's almost like I trust her in a way because she's not a hardcore romance reader. If she did end up liking this romance, then there might be something to it. As far as where we are starting, Libby is the one that's going to be picking a lot of my TBR. All through December, I was doing research for this and trying to kind of narrow down books that I was interested in and the different authors, and I cleared my entire TBR on Libby and only saved romance books, and at this point I am up for almost all of them. I just need to click the button and I'll be next in line. So I'm just going to do that with as many as possible, and we'll just see where we end up, because I get 21 days per book and I'm trying to read as many as I can in a month. That covers most of the month. I think I should be fine. I'm hoping to get through as many of these as possible. I also am giving myself the ability to DNF, because again, I'm not trying to hate read romance. I'm trying to find what I like. I'm just trying to challenge myself, not DNF without knowing why, and if it's connected to the romance itself or if it's connected to the writing. Really pinpoint the reason behind it. Not to justify to you, but to understand for me so that it's still playing a part in this vlog. And because I also believe in DNFing. I think self-care is important. And what is love without self-love? Right now on my Libby, most of them give me the option to unsuspend, which means I'm just next in line. So we'll just see which one comes up first and go from there. So I guess this is also a Libby chooses my TBR. It's actually about 30 minutes later because I clicked unsuspend on all of them and then nothing happened because people were reading the books. Yeah, should have probably done this yesterday. But one did come up. So we are officially starting the romance vlog. I have a hot spice chai latte. This is an audiobook that came up. I have a mix of ebooks, audiobooks, and then a couple physical, but most of my reading will be done audibly. And the first one to come up was Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. I have seen that this is really funny, so I'm expecting this to be more of a rom-com. We'll just see how we do. But I'm going to drink my chai, put in my headphones, chill out on my Snorlax, and then I will check in with you once I've made it a decent amount of the way through. I am more than halfway done with my chai. Things have happened in this book. I have an idea of what it's about, so I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you to it. I'm going to not do spoilers, but from what I understand, there are some basics of romance that is not spoilers, such as like happy endings, meet cutes, I don't know. I'm going to do my best to not spoil, so if it feels too spoilery, I will also have timestamps going along so you can skip around if you feel like I'm saying too much. This is pretty much the synopsis of what's happened. Our girl just choked on a hamburger and died. The way that it was described, it was so messed up. It was so messed up, but it was really funny and awful. The way she was describing things before choking on the hamburger, like I did get the sense that she was funny. As far as like embarrassing ways you can die, this one definitely made the cut. Delphi is our main character and she dies choking on a hamburger. She goes to the afterlife and she gets like a care counselor type of person who's supposed to ease you through into the afterlife. That person was funny, a little too quirky, a little too much, but she was still funny. Is going through Delphi's life and being like, hey, let's do your flashback, and Delphi's life is gray. It's boring, it's average, it's kind of a little bit miserable. The counselor is a hopeless romantic and is like, I was expecting more. I like when things are romantic. Didn't you have a romantic interest? And she's like, no. And in the waiting room, someone else pops up into the afterlife, someone who supposedly had died. And Delphi and this character, Noah or Jonah? Noah feels a little too on the nose like Christian. I think it was Jonah. Is Jonah also a Christian name? I'm pagan. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, this guy pops up and they have immediate chemistry. He's looking at her. He's got like the hard eyes. He's very, very into her. And they have this moment and then he just pops, disappears. Finally having like a motivation, something to live for. Delphi kind of wakes up and is like, I finally have a connection. And the counselor, who also is a hopeless romantic, sets up a bargain where Delphi can have a second chance at life in order to go find Jonah or Noah. And if she kisses him before a certain deadline, which I did forget, then she can have a second chance at life permanently. Otherwise, she comes back to the afterlife, which seems like it kind of sucks. It didn't seem like hell, but like hell's waiting room. I don't know, like limbo. Point being, she's now motivated to live for a guy, which feels problematic, but I mean, I'm here for the ride, so let's see. She seems like kind of a curmudgeon. Every single time she's described a person, it's kind of negative. She's got 2 neighbors, 3 neighbors that were mentioned. One neighbor she describes really negatively. One of them she seems kind of terrified of, and the third one she lovingly, dotingly cares for. It's like an old man in her apartment building, and she was actually upset that he wasn't brought up in her afterlife. That's the beginning startup premise. It was a good opening. I was interested. I'm invested, is what I think I'm realizing right now. This is investment. I need to finish this chai. I'm going to go ahead and clean off screen. This vlog is going to be vlog diary style because if I put in all of my life B-roll montage, we'll be here forever. Let's not do that. I'm gonna go do laundry, keep listening, and then I'll check in probably at the halfway mark, but I won't be giving any spoilers at the halfway mark, just my feelings. No plot. Hello. This isn't meant to be a horror vlog, but it's kind of given that. I even put on cute Valentine's Day pajamas, but you know, here we are. I'm now about 50-60% the love of my afterlife. I don't know where this plot is going at all, really. I know where we're supposed to end up, but it's veered off track and there's so many random things. I think the main character, Delphi, is making this very fun, even though there is like this formulaic quality where I'm like, it's a romance. I think because she is so chaotic and silly, focus, it makes me feel uncertain on where this is going to go. Like, I don't know where this is going to end up because I don't know where she is going to go. I don't know what the next scene will be because she will veer off course so randomly and so quickly, but it feels funny and silly and consistent. It feels like her the entire time. The shenanigans make an unhinged situation happen. Oh my god. There's so many things I can't tell you because I'm not making this a spoiler vlog. The midway to like 60% has been a ride. It's been really fun, but also I'm like, you're unhinged. Good things are happening too. I feel a blush creeping in. Do I have a blush? I don't know. It might just be the red camera dot. I feel like I'm like blushing and having a good time, but I also love how deep it's going. Not the blushing scene. The character development, the storyline is going really deep. I feel like that might be something worth clarifying, actually. I love how deep the story is going into things outside of the romance. The romance is fun and interesting. It takes up a good amount of the plot, but it also feels like it's really balancing the found family aspect that I had like picked up on early on. It invested in other characters. I feel the investment of the different characters happening. It still feels like things are going fast. They're going forward. There's a lot of momentum. And like, she's such a curmudgeon. She's such a grump. It makes sense. It all makes sense. I like to see the little budding aspects of her growing as a character. I think I've said Delphi is funny like a million times, so I'll cut it here. My update is that I'm having fun and I'm blushing, and the found family aspects are going really deep. Okay, hello. You are on a rocky foundation, but you also have a mirror behind you, which is why we're here. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I am on winter vacation, which is why I have so many days to just read. I'm trying to get a head start on my romance reading for when it picks up later in the month. Work-wise, I can still be ahead in this vlog, and we'll just see how many books we come out with. I just did my pre-workout in the house, and now I'm going out of the house while I'm still warm. I'm going to be putting on some sunblock, and then I'm going to finish Love of My Afterlife and start my next book, which I believe is an Ali Hazelwood book. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was like Not in Love, Not My Love, something about love and it not happening is the next Ali Hazelwood book I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to probably start it on my run because I think it was like 30 minutes left in Love of My Afterlife and it's on 1.75 speed, so I'm expecting to finish it. I don't know what Ali Hazelwood's book is about, but with only a little bit left in this book, I can say I am actually feeling really excited about this vlog now. I kind of want this bubbly feeling I've been feeling every time I listened to this audiobook to continue throughout the month. I don't know how I'll feel after a month, but I do really want to read another, I don't know, I guess I kind of want to read a rom-com. I want to watch a rom-com. That feeling you feel, I don't know what else to call it. It feels like I'm bubbling. I'm also starting to cool down and I don't want to do that. I just want to say I am really enjoying it. I really enjoyed this book. I'll come back with my final thoughts later, but I want to let you know I'm starting my next book. It's about people that are not in love. Whew. Dude, I am ripe. Okay. Love of My Afterlife was actually really, really cute, but also very, very deep. There were moments that, of course, like they were funny and goofy and quirky, but it also had a really big, strong message behind it that I really enjoyed, and I liked how it was dealt with. I ended up really enjoying Delphi as a character despite how negative and curmudgeonly she was. It was something she was working through and working with and learning how to appreciate your life in some areas, but also being able to be like, hey, no, this sucks. Ooh, it was good. It was good. I mentioned this last night, but I really enjoyed both cringing and laughing, but also very much so enjoying the characters together. Even though I was cringing sometimes, like the main character would make me cringe, she was self-aware of the fact that she was cringe, and it kind of made her sexy. The fact that the guy was also into the fact that she was kind of cringe and he was kind of cringe, I think it worked really well together, and it made me, I don't know, it made me feel more open about being cringe while I was reading it. I felt like I was soaking it in like a sponge. Like I told you I smelled ripe at the beginning of this. That's a weird thing to put in a vlog. Don't tell people you smell bad, especially when they can't smell you. I could have lied. I could have said, guys, every single time I run, I smell like roses. But because of this book, I was kind of okay with it. I think she farts on page, I swear to God, but it didn't feel gross or weird. I don't know. She was being very realistic and relatable. Oh God, there was a scene, she's just feeling herself. She's feeling really good about herself. She actually goes on a jog or a run. It's part of a major plot she's doing, and it's not her comfort zone. She's feeling good about herself. The comedic effect after her run, it was so funny. I feel like I was gonna try and recommend this to a certain someone, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if you're a real person, you might like this. Star rating is gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard. I might just write down my thoughts later, and I might put my final star ratings at the end as I have time to review them, because right now I'm so in this, and I just jumped into a new book, which I'm about to talk about after I put on deodorant, that I feel like a star rating right now, I feel like they would all feel kind of 5 and bubbly. So I'm gonna wait on star ratings. I think I'll do it at the end of this vlog. It was really good. It feels right now like a 5. I don't know if that'll change later or not, but I hope it doesn't. I hope I ride this high through the month. I did put on deodorant. I'll have you know I smell much better now. That's not what this vlog is about. Let's go ahead and talk about Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. My first Ali Hazelwood, which kind of feels like a big deal. That's when I knew about her. This is about a girl named Rue. She's a biochemist engineer. She's in STEM. She's in a startup company with her best friend, and her boss is the owner of the startup company. So they all know each other. I've worked for a family business before, and it was my family's family business, and there is a vibe. There's the pros and cons of working for your family. The lines get really blurred, so you can get things that are really casual and you don't have to worry about, but with that comes like the pitfalls, in that like the HR department is your aunt, and when you have a complaint, she quotes Mean Girls at you, which again, pro and con, kind of feels a little bit like that. Rue is in a startup. It seems like it's also very personal because this is her found family. Another thing about Rue is that she likes casual sex and just doing hookups and things like that. She feels like people maybe don't really like her in relationships, and so this is something she just does for herself. I don't know. I feel like I really like Rue, but I enjoy how straightforward she is. She is going to have a one-night stand. It gets interrupted, but they have a lot of sexual tension, and then she shows up to work the next day, and there's, I don't know if hostile takeover is the right term, but there's a takeover happening at her company, the one that she loves and enjoys, and that her best friend is the startup owner of. So this other tech company is trying to eat her tech company, and the guy that she just had really great sexual chemistry with, he is there at the startup. He's the one doing the hostile takeover with his friends. Just, you know, casual buddy guy things that guys and buddies do, I guess, is hostile takeover of women in STEM companies. So they now have a situation where they are put back together, but they're on opposing sides, which I think is maybe enemies to lovers or rivals to lovers. There's a trope happening here, and I don't know which one it is. Hi, I'm having quality time with my rabbit on the floor, so I will be down here for this update. Love of My Afterlife did have some spice. Hi. His favorite snack is rose petals, which is very romantic of him. The other book had spice in it. Like, I felt like I understood spice in that moment. I was like, oh my gosh, we're doing things. That's how I'm going to be describing these romance books. Moving forward, we're in trouble. This was a bad idea, but I am gonna be down here for like an hour or so. This is either happening or it's not, you know? The other book did have spice. However, I felt that I was so focused on the characters and what was happening with them. I was rooting for it so much. I didn't think of it as overly explicit or spicy. I would maybe put it as like a 2 pepper or something like that. I don't know what I'm talking about. This book, it felt spicy. Like I went, holy crap, we're doing this. We're in it. We're in it. We're doing it. But I also like the idea of them having casual sex and having fun. I think that that's an important topic to be talked about too, and I liked how they were talking about it. I also liked how involved we were getting in their traumas and their hurts, and that they were using sex as an outlet in a very safe and protected space with each other. It was casual sex, but it was also meaningful, but it wasn't meaningful between the two of them. It was meaningful between the two individuals. She was having her individual growth and he was having his individual growth, and they were having sex as an outlet to get there. I don't know how to explain this. It felt incredibly intense and spicy and stuff like that, but I also felt, I don't know, it was really meaningful. Casual sex, as graphic as the imagery was, look at what the characters are doing. Look at what they're accomplishing, you know? So, I don't know. I thought it was good. This is different from the first book. I feel like it's not funny. It's actually kind of intense. I found out her reasons for being part of the startup are a little bit more personal. It's really interesting. I like what she's doing here, and if Ali Hazelwood is always doing this, then I'm definitely down to try more Ali Hazelwood, for sure. This was long and winding, but that's mostly because I was distracted by a rabbit, but I'm enjoying the book. Oh, hello. I've had lots of food in between. I've relaxed, doing dishes. Throughout, I've been listening to Not in Love. I feel like it's doing a lot, and it doesn't feel like too much. I'm guessing I know what happens in the end. There is a plot happening, and I think the plot is the least important or interesting part of this book specifically. I don't think that it's doing anything special. I think it's just the catalyst to say that there is a plot while we go through these two characters' healing of wounds and character development and having like steamy sex scenes. The steamy sex scenes are the actual promise of the premise. The hook is literally just to like tell you that there is a book happening here. I don't really care about that, and that I am really just involved in the characters' relationship. In Love of My Afterlife, I did care about the plot. I wanted to see how this thing worked out outside of the romance aspect. But for this one, I'm really just interested and invested in the characters finding their growth, coming into themselves. No, there's a lot of good happening here. It's kind of touching. It makes me kind of want to cry, but it's also like steamy and interesting, and like they have good sexual tension and all of that. Anytime the actual plot comes up, I feel disinterested, which is just wild. There's some really interesting family dynamics happening with him and his sister, and I almost feel like they'll mention other romances, things that are happening. I'm like, are you trying to get me interested in this character so I read this book next? It's kind of working. As I get near the end of this book, I'm at about 75%, maybe 80% now. I do feel a little panic with it ending. I want the satisfaction. I want the catharsis. I do feel a little bit like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Once they figure it all out, I'm not gonna see them again, because it'll be like, and then they boned for life. It's fine. You know, I am kind of wanting to pick up this other book probably being set up here. I added the second book in this series to my Libby because it says that I have 8 weeks before it comes out. And that's upsetting because 8 weeks is not this vlog. I can't just read the next book after this. That's worrisome. I feel like I need to pick up another Ali Hazelwood to see if these characters show up. This is how they get you. There's like 2 things that need to be wrapped up right now, and one of them's the plot, and I don't have much to say about it. I feel like this is most of my thoughts. I feel emotionally relieved by talking to you about what I've just spoken about, and anything else is just gonna be like, and I finished it. And I finished it. I finished Not in Love, and I really, really loved that book. I didn't like it, I loved it. I thought it was really well balanced. It had such a good balance of depth. I thought that Love of My Afterlife did too, but I feel like this went not deeper. The traumas and the things that the main characters were facing were a bit more intense. And the fact that Ali Hazelwood was able to make this both funny and sexy and incredibly, I don't know, tormented? They felt kind of tormented. These are traumatized characters that are really dealing with grief and trauma, neglect, abandonment, and poverty. Sometimes the character didn't have access to food when they were growing up. I felt like everything was handled with so much care. I think also Rue, that's the main character's name. I hadn't really pinpointed what I liked about her character. If I looked it up, people would agree with me on this, that she is autism coded or neurodivergent. And when I say coded, I mean that she was not diagnosed on page, but that plenty of people spend their lives or, you know, their young or late adulthood not getting diagnosed. And that doesn't mean that they don't show up on page. I'm not autistic though, so don't take my word as gospel. The way she struggled with it, I felt for her so much because she really did think and fear that people didn't like her. At first that comes off as true, but then you realize it's that people don't know her, and the people that do know her love her. They love her and care about her, and I loved and cared about her too. The people that went past the fact that she had a lack of expression or that she was pointed and straightforward or needed things said to her in a certain way only felt love for her, and I really cared about her, and it made sense that other people in the story cared about her. Yeah, she did something different, and it made me all the more bummed that I wasn't going to get to see her in the next book just because the wait is too long and I don't want to lose momentum. But I was able to get my hands on Love Theoretically, which is another Ali Hazelwood book, so I'm hoping I'm just gonna see more characters that make me feel like this from Ali Hazelwood. That is the dream. Speaking of dreams though, I am gonna go to sleep. The Love Theoretically book is an audiobook, so I'm literally just gonna stick my headphone in, lay down, put a 30-minute timer on, and I'll see you in the morning. Hi, good morning. I'm going to attempt to multitask here. I have matcha this morning, and then I am actually doing my hair and makeup today because I'm meeting up with friends later. So last night I did start Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, and I woke up this morning and I was like, I don't remember anything that happened, which is fair because I fell asleep to it. The last few nights I have also done that, and I've actually had to turn it off because I didn't want to turn the book off. I wasn't going to sleep. Today I thought back and I was like, I think I have to start over because I think I must have fallen asleep in the first like 10 minutes. Lo and behold, I actually did get through my 30-minute timer. It didn't stick. I'm like, were you like in a liminal space? Were you kind of asleep? What happened? The main character I think is not interesting to me, like her as a person. I'm literally struggling to talk about this book, and I just listened to the beginning of it twice. So I'm like, what's happening? Okay, Elsie. She's a chick. It's jogging my memory. All of Ali Hazelwood's people are women in STEM, which is great. That leaves more room for crossover as well. Her name's Elsie, and she's a teacher, which I like. She does like theoretical research, and she's not getting joy out of the teaching aspect. She likes doing research. She likes being behind the scenes. She wants to come up with theories. She also has to have a second part-time job to make ends meet. She is barely making it by. She lives with a roommate. So her second part-time job is going on fake dates with people. It's like some sort of app, and she goes on dates, meets people's family, pretty much does the fake dating trope for a job. So she has this job fake dating this guy, and she meets his family, and he seems perfectly nice and pleasant. She also meets this guy's brother because she's meeting his whole family, and he's kind of onto her. Like, he notices she doesn't know a lot about him. They don't get along because he's very protective over his brother, and he thinks she's just not a very good girlfriend. Then she tries to get this job that will give her a lot of money. She'd be able to quit the fake dating and all of that. Turns out the guy that she's fake dating, his brother, is on the board and part of like the hiring committee. So she cannot reveal the fact that she is fake dating his brother because that's the whole point of the thing. At this point, they don't really seem attracted to each other. They just seem like they're not getting along. He also said something rude about researchers in the past. I don't know. It almost seems unbelievable how long she's been holding on to this grudge about this random guy and how much she hates him. I'm like, do you hate him that much? You have nothing else going on? I guess that's kind of all that's happening. Like, I guess that's the hook. The guy she's fake dating's brother is on to her, but they might have sexual tension. We'll see. You know? We will see. I'm not DNFing it because I just read a really good Ali Hazelwood book. I just kind of wish that I was reading problematic summer romance right now. I should just take away from this that the experiment is working, because that is not a sentence I ever thought I would say. I obviously can't do both of these things at once, and I honestly don't think I have anything more to say about this book at this moment. Premise has happened. The hook has happened. I just don't feel hooked. I'll go ahead and I'm going to listen to more of it as I continue to get ready, and I'll check in with you before I go. We're getting a lot of Twilight and cheese And I don't know what else to say. I'm not feeling it. I think that it's partially the romance itself and also the characters, but I feel like there's tonally something happening with this writing. It just feels like it's so much more shallow. This book feels like almost two different authors. I don't know. I'm not feeling it very much. Like, when I say Twilight and cheese, I mean it. They have mentioned Twilight so many times, and they have mentioned or joked about cheese so many times. I feel like she's trying to create an inside joke between me and the main character. I don't think it's funny, so it just ends up being someone just bringing things up again. It's a forced inside joke. I'm not in on the inside joke because I was like, oh, I didn't think that was funny to begin with. So it wouldn't turn into an inside joke between me and my friends because two people have to laugh for an inside joke to work, and I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. That is one of the issues. I'm not laughing. No, not in love. I was not laughing. I was crying. Okay, so I have to either be laughing or crying. I guess I have to feel something, and I'm not feeling it. Really wish I was feeling it, or I really wish I was reading problematic summer romance. I don't know. And I feel like every single time there's a chance for an intense conversation to happen, once they get started, it's interrupted with humor, and that's very different from Love of My Afterlife, because that one, we were doing quirky, funny things all the time, and then it would get sometimes cut with the real. This is almost the inverse of the two books I just read. More than the inverse, it's kind of the antithesis, and it's not working for me, but I don't want to give up on it yet. I'm in denial. I don't know. I don't know. I'm very curious about other people's opinions about these different books, especially within the same like author genre, because I did kind of expect her to give me more of the same. That's just kind of an idea or thought I had within the romance genre, so that could be completely wrong, and that's on me, and that's kind of why I want to continue on anyway. I said I was going to DNF, and I might DNF this one. It's on the chopping block, but I think maybe if I'm just kind of listening to it in the background, I did have on Libby Out on a Limb as an ebook, so I could just kind of physically read this as I go, and it can kind of supplement, you know? I can listen in my downtime on like trains, bus rides, commutes to Love Theoretically, and then I'll switch over to Out on a Limb when I'm doing active reading. Finish my matcha and head out, and I will check back in later. 妊娠されている方や小さなお子様をお連れのお客様に Yes, this is my second matcha in a row. I came here early because my friend and I are going to a bakery with absolutely atrocious coffee. So I went ahead and picked up this at one of the stations I'm stopped at. Waiting for my friend to come pick me up from this station, and then I'm gonna go have very good baked goods, and she's going to have mediocre coffee. Hello, I'm back. I'm getting a quick lunch, nari, and then a veggie juice. I read Out on a Limb, and I am really enjoying it. I love the main character. She's lovable. Hands down, would be hard for you to not love her and enjoy her, but I also really like the love interest. I think that he's really sweet and funny. I like his sense of humor. I like their banter together. Their opening scene was really great. They both have limb differences and are at a Halloween party, and they're both dressed as pirates, and when they like make the joke of like, well, someone's gonna have to change, they make the same joke to each other because he is missing part of his lower leg. He's wearing a peg leg costume for his pirate costume, and she's wearing a hook because one of her hands is smaller than the other. Their delivery was great, and you could just tell there was an instant comfort and understanding between them as they were talking. But I don't think I even told you what this book was about. Sorry, I kind of dived in, so I kind of dived you in. The premise of this book is that a one-night stand turns into an accidental pregnancy, which is a trope I know people normally don't like, but it's like so far I feel like things are going well. I don't think it's something I dislike. I think it depends on how it's done, right? I mean, if you just throw it in for the drama of it, that's any trope. That's the opening premise. That's the whole point of the book, is that they have a one-night stand. The one-night stand immediately was a sex scene because, you know, that's what a one-night stand is, in case the viewers are confused. A one-night stand is sex. They do have sex with each other. I'm fine, I promise. I didn't feel like giddy excitement during the scene, but I did feel really touched, moved by how they came together in that scene and the conversations that they were having and how they were sensitive and like passionate towards each other. They obviously were into each other. A couple times she really was talking too much. There's no way I can enjoy this scene. you're talking all the way through it. They were like still bantering, but it was during, and I was like, you have to stop talking. But at some point she says that too, so okay, you're forgiven since you know that this is something that you do. It was very, very real, actually. It almost felt like a really realistic depiction of what would happen in this situation and how two people, grown adults and mature, would deal with it. The audiobook is available, but I think if I pick up the audiobook, I'm just gonna fly through it and I'm not gonna pick up Love Theoretically. I'm enough of the way through that I can't really talk about Love Theoretically, and I'm hoping that this feeling passes, but I'll just give you my final thoughts on it at the end. But I needed you to know that cheese was mentioned again. I think I've paid too much attention to it now, so now that I know that it's there, it's almost, again, we're talking about the antithesis of an in-joke. I'm going to try very hard not to spoil things. I'll cut out things, I'll do the work in editing, for sure. Hello, I am under my kotatsu, pretty much just doing nothing. Earlier, I filmed a video though, my 26 and 26. That took a lot of time. I haven't edited it yet, but I do need to edit it. So this reading update is fairly sparse because I spent time doing that and then just kind of relaxing. I read a little bit more, or listened to a little bit more of Love Theoretically, just while like laying under here, and it's perfectly fine. I did up the speed. I was listening to 1.65 and then earlier I turned it up to 1.75 and I am now up to 2. So I should finish it faster, but I don't know, I'm feeling pretty blah about it. I haven't been really excited to talk about it, and I did need to film that video today because you won't have noticed because they're pre-filmed, but I pre-filmed a lot late December, like the first half of my winter vacation, so that I could focus mainly on this vlog throughout January. I didn't want to have to film a lot, but I am running out of videos, and I do not want this vlog to crash and burn. I really want to do this vlog, and I've mentioned it a few times and I've talked about it a few times, and I've done that before where I tell people that there's a vlog happening and then it falls through and then I feel bad about it. So I'm really trying to make this work. I don't know, I'm pretty relaxed under this kotatsu, so I don't see me moving. I look tired, feel tired, my camera is blurring in and out, so it must be tired. Sorry, my camera just kind of does that. That's the update. Good morning. I finished Love Theoretically. It was fine. I don't feel like I have very much to say about it. I feel like it kind of just stayed that same kind of meh feeling throughout. And also, I kind of now have to mark Ali Hazelwood as being a little inconsistent just because the vast feelings I felt between the two books I read of hers. I'll definitely need a third to kind of solidify my feelings towards her, but Problematic Summer Romance is still not available, so I won't be doing that anytime soon. I'm still reading Out on the Limb. I read a little bit of it with my breakfast, and I'm gonna continue reading it throughout the day. I have noticed a bit of a slowdown as far as what I'm feeling towards it. I still like everyone. I just like them very platonically, and I keep waiting for the new point of contention or like a time jump. I think it'd be really interesting to see them work in this dynamic as parents to show parenthood and them trying to work through their either romantic or platonic feelings for each other, which I do believe that these two feel romantically towards each other, definitely. Sexually as well as romantically. I don't. I feel like I'm looking at them platonically, like I'm watching my two platonic friends make out on the couch. I've almost skipped the spicy scenes. It is because they are super detailed, but they're also super realistic. I think like their personalities are just people that I would absolutely adore to know, but it's still fairly far from my own personality. I'm having trouble making the connection of me rooting for them outside of how I would root for anyone finding love. You know, like I want you all to find love if you want it. I'm not as involved as I've been in past books. I don't know what that's about, but I think that a lot of it has to do, since I am trying to diagnose my romantic tendencies, I think it does have to do with needing a little bit more tension. They're just living life, you know? Like, I think that it's absolutely fantastic to just live life. I prefer when there's not tension in my romance, but not in my romance books. I'm looking for a story. I want my friends to entertain me. They are just vibing and doing a really great job of it, and the issues that are coming up feel like they could be resolved with a conversation, and they do seem like they're good at having conversations, so I'm not fully understanding like what the issue is, what's the problem. And I absolutely just love this book for the conversations that they're having. I really do adore this book. I'm going to keep reading it and drink my coffee with cinnamon. I will check back in later. I don't plan on getting out of my pajamas anytime soon, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be brave, be dashing. We'll see. We're not gonna set the bar high today.
Okay, curveball. What if
I suddenly started reading Quicksilver. I know that this is romantasy. I know it breaks the rules, but so many people talk about Quicksilver. I've seen so many opposing and conflicting things with it, but I mean, it kind of counts, right? Like, I feel like it counts. It just came up on my skip the line where it gives like the little lucky sign, and it wasn't on my list. It just is available. So, am I available? Do I try it? I think I'm gonna give it a shot. I really enjoyed ACOTAR and stuff like that. Like, I'm not against romantasy, and like I'm trying to break down stigmas here. I should give this a shot. I am curious. I've already talked myself into it, so I'm just warning you that I'm starting Quicksilver and we're gonna see how this goes. So I lasted until noon before I DNF'd Quicksilver. So sorry, guys. I thought about cutting the footage, but I'm like, no, the people need to see this. They need to understand that that was not for me. I'm trying to think of like, I was trying to re-energize this vlog because I noticed I was kind of, the highs and lows are very high and low, you know? So I was like, I'm gonna re-energize this vlog by reading Quicksilver, and this could change my life. It's not changing my life at all because I DNF'd it. And I think I'm going to hard DNF it. I think I'm done. I don't need to read that. And I think that I'm more willing to DNF having made it all the way through Love Theoretically and feeling meh about it. I was reminded of what it feels like to not DNF a book when you could have. I definitely could have DNF'd Love Theoretically. I didn't. And I was gifted what feels like, and might change in the future, a solid 3. And I can't imagine how much my vlog would be derailed if I read this 20-something hour audiobook of Quicksilver when I hated it for the first 10 to 15%. There was just so much going on, and it was so cringy. There was so many things, and I'm so sorry. If you like Quicksilver, that's so good. There's so many books that I like that other people think are cringy. The moment I realized that edgelord was supposed to be the main love interest, I knew I was out. And everyone was so tall. I am 5 foot, and if I wear the right shoes, I put on my ID that I'm 5'1". I do appreciate the fact that some people just seem taller than you. I don't need to hear that it's exactly 6 foot. I get that sometimes it just seems like everyone's taller than you. It seems like everyone's 6 foot. Everyone was the tallest person in the room. Everyone was the tallest, and they were described that way sometimes when they were in the same room. Not for me. I haven't done anything else today besides have lunch, DNF a book, and read a little bit of Out on a Limb. I'm going back to work the day after tomorrow. I'm gonna try and kind of figure out my upload schedule and figure out what I'm doing. Some beta reads that are coming up over on Fiverr. So I need to kind of resituate, and that book would have derailed me. I'm tapping out while I'm strong. I'll talk to you soon. Hi, it's been 3 days since I last updated. I'm not entirely sure. I've tried to do small updates, but they didn't make any sense. I've started work again, and I immediately started to feel my decline in energy, and I cannot believe, I almost literally was like, I'll catch up with them next week. I'll catch up with them on the weekend. I just planned this out so that I wasn't just catching up with you on the weekend. I'm tired right now. There's so many things happening. My brain doesn't feel like it can do hobbies, and I don't want to feel like I can't do hobbies. And I enjoy my job so much. Sometimes I'm able to kind of rationalize it feeling like a hobby because I'm like, well, I enjoy it and I'm doing something I love and enjoy, but that's not it. Like, a hobby is for me. A job is for me and whoever is getting the service, which is hopefully students and teachers. I have a seminar that's coming up that I have to do a presentation for, so I needed to get the outline of that finished because when we're supposed to be practicing it, I'll actually be in Thailand at the time. So I needed to do that early, and then I started 2 beta reads. I finished one very quickly. 2 plopped in my lap. I'm excited about both of them, but it was also one of those things where it's like, oh, this is my hobby now. Now I'm reading for a hobby that I'm getting paid for. No, that's a job. That's a job. I am putting in effort, putting in work that I otherwise wouldn't be able to exude in order to read extra, have nothing to do with my actual hobby. You are my hobby. This is my hobby. Ugh. And I haven't even actually done the objective of this vlog, which is to tell you about the fact that I finished Out on a Limb, and I started Honey Girl. I started Honey Girl, but let's talk about Out on a Limb first because I finished it and I really enjoyed it. I don't know what my rating will be because the last 20%, so until about the 80% mark, I was still very much so enjoying myself. I didn't necessarily want the book to end because I still had hope for some different kind of momentum. But when I noticed that that momentum wasn't going to happen, that we were going to have a drop off, I felt like everything kind of felt wrapped up at the 80% mark, and then we were just kind of vibing. Some things were still being put together, but I felt like it could have been put together sooner. You know, author's intention. She wrote the book she wanted to write. I'm happy it exists, is out in the world. I plan on reading more of this author's work in the future. I really did enjoy it, but the last 20% made it a little bit harder for me to review in the moment because I was focused on the fact that I was like, I'm good now, actually. If I felt more like romantically involved with these characters, I think it could have been a favorite. That's how good it was. I just wasn't, so it just felt like I had really good friends over and they stayed at my house too long. And I'm so excited for them to come back again. But now let's talk about Honey Girl, because oh my gosh, Honey Girl is so immediately and saturatingly sapphic. My butterflies were actually out of control. I felt like the high rise of butterflies flowing through my system as I read the opening. I believe everything you're saying to me, even though you are very drunk in Vegas and getting married. Premise of Honey Girl, from what I've understood from the hook and the opening, a little bit of what we've gotten to see of Grace Porter, our main character's life, she is a very structured, regimented person who ended up with her PhD at 29. She's an astronomer or astrophysicist. She's working with stars, okay? She's very intelligent, hyper-focused, no nonsense. After getting her PhD, her friends take her on a forced trip to Vegas, and we start the story with the opening image of these two girls like blurring through Vegas hand in hand, having a ball, the time of her life. When she smiled, I smiled. I could feel the fact that she was letting loose something within her, and then she wakes up the next morning with a wedding certificate, a ring, and a note from a mysterious stranger. I loved that opening. I thought it was a great start. I am definitely invested right away. I learned a little bit more about Grace in that she has a military family or a military dad who is very strict, only calls her by Porter, her last name, instead of being proud of his daughter being a doctor at 29 because she's a doctor of, I'm gonna go with astronomy. I think she has a PhD in astronomy because she's a doctor of astronomy and not a like medicinal medical professional doctor with a PhD. Because she did not take the medical field of science, he kind of disregards her as being like lazy and kind of having wasted her time, which is like, the bar is so high, it is literally in the stars. No wonder she's an astronomer. She had to go find that bar her dad raised for her. It was a very long day and I feel like my eyes are drooping, but I'm trying to think of all of the thoughts I've had for you guys, but in the moment I'm at work, I can't pull out my camera and be like, here's Nakamura sensei, and also let me tell you about this romance I'm reading. It's not working. It has to happen now. The other thing that I was going to say is that I want to start an audiobook to have alongside Honey Girl, because Honey Girl I'm not listening to, but I'm reading physically. Sometimes I kind of forget I can do it, and Out on a Limb reminded me I can, and I can enjoy it. I am going to continue Honey Girl physically, digitally. There's too many words in the English dictionary, and the fact that I have to teach them is not just. I'm gonna start an audiobook, but I'm not sure. I'll come back. I'll come back. Jade, you better come back. Do not make this next clip a different day. Come back. I don't have it in me to turn the overhead light on, so, it was so put together over vacation. Oh yeah, audiobooks. Audiobooks is why I turned on my camera 30 seconds ago. So there are 2 Abby Jimenez books. I have the first and the third. The second one is not available, but they're interconnected standalones. They take place in the same world. There's some crossover characters, but you don't have to read them in a certain order. I am gonna read the first one first, but I'm gonna accept the third one as well, just in case the second one doesn't come up. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm panic buying, you know? Like I'm pressing the trigger just in case. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna listen to Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World. I did defer to the list that Soleil gave me because Abby Jimenez was at the top of her list. This is a Soleil favorite, and she did tell me not to read Abby Jimenez's backlist to start with, I believe, this series. After a wild bet, gourmet grilled cheese sandwich, and cuddle with a baby goat, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause, Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her. Oh, an age gap. Who's 10 years younger than her. Where's the rest of the sentence? I have dyslexia. Don't look at me. Do not perceive me while I try and find the rest of the sentence. The complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis. And yet, their chemistry is undeniable. While her ultra-wealthy parents want her to carry on the family legacy of world-renowned surgeons. Man, I got a lot of like judgy doctor parents in my life right now. Ultra wealthy parents want her to carry on the family legacy. She's fine being a mere ER doctor. I didn't realize how low my parents' bar was for me until I'm reading about these parents. A PhD in astronomy at 29? Loser. An ER doctor? Try better next time. Jesus. And every minute she spends with Daniel, the tight-knit town where he lives. Oh, it's a small town too. I'm from a small town. I think that's something I maybe like in romance. She discovers what's really important. Well, don't tell me. See, that's a spoiler. I don't want to know she discovers what she really wants. That's the whole point. No, the whole point is getting there. It's the journey. That's what romance is about. It's the journey. I figured that out through this vlog. Because I too am a romance guru now. I'm gonna listen to Part of Your World, which I keep wanting to call Once Upon a Time. I'm very tired. Hey, so I'm kind of like taking a small break from this vlog. I need a few days. Something really horrible happened in Minnesota. A woman was shot and killed in her car by an ICE agent. I'm having trouble processing doing regular things and going about my regular life while this is happening in my country, and I'm so far away. There's still a lot of information unfolding, but I've watched the videos and it's awful. It's horrible. I'm having trouble concentrating. It's been surreal to read Part of Your World. The story takes place in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and I don't know. I'm in a weird space. Just know that there's gonna be a gap. If I'm suddenly acting normal, it's just because I've regulated myself, and I know rationally that me not vlogging at all is not going to change anything that's happening. But I also think it's really unnerving to pretend like it's not happening while I make a vlog. Apart from just speaking up and saying it's messed up, I don't know what else I am able to do right now. I'm gonna look into fundraisers. Sorry, I'm really scattershot. I'm just going to try and figure out some resources and things I can do, because there's really not very much I can do from abroad. It gives me just such a pit in my stomach and like a tightening in my chest. I'm sorry that I have to mention it. I'm sorry I have to be a bummer, but I'm not the real bummer here. Shooting someone in the head is. And I would feel very inauthentic trying to pretend like it wasn't bothering me a lot right now. Okay. Don't know why I'm giving a thumbs up. Just gonna end this. God, I have night classes tonight. Okay, so when I have a night class, some of our students work during the day. They have like either part-time or full-time jobs. I got to sleep in. I slept until 7:30. I went to bed at 3 a.m. I finished Part of Your World. I was so engrossed in this story. I was rooting for the characters. Oh my gosh, Daniel? Daniel is the love interest. I needed this book. I did not realize how much I needed this book, but I was incapable of putting it down. Unputdownable for sure. I already gave the premise. I believe there's obviously been a gap between my last update and this one, but like any chance, any waking moment I could be reading this book, I was reading it. Every Abby Jimenez book in existence is now on my Libby in varying stages of waiting. I need more of that. That needs to never end. It did end, unfortunately. Oh my god, it was so good. I can't even really pinpoint. It's gotta be Daniel. The love interest was so good. I adored him, and I was rooting for him, and I actually got really frustrated with the main character. I understood her reasoning, her motivations completely made sense. I couldn't get behind them because I cared about him so much and I saw how it was hurting him. So good. So good. The second book, which is yours truly and follows one of the like side characters, the main character's friend or best friend, is not ready yet. It still has a little bit of time. I think it only said 1 to 2 weeks. I think I'm like first or second in line. But the third book, I triple checked and I can read these out of order. The third book is ready and I'm just going to start listening to it. In the off chance they'll make some sort of side comment or like there'll be interconnectedness or something like that. I don't know. I don't care. I just need more. And it really helped soothe me. I mean, I don't feel soothed right now. I feel sleep deprived, but it was really soothing to listen to. It felt good the entire time, even though that they were in a somewhat stressful situation. I got to like go into that space and just be like, this is gonna end okay. This is gonna be okay. The world right now, I don't know, but like in this book, in this Minnesota, things are gonna be okay. And it also gave me a lot of oomph and almost like rejuvenating energy to leave that version of Minnesota and go into the real world and make some donations, posts. I felt a little bit more or less hopeless, I guess is the best way to put it. We're gonna see what the third book has. It's called Just for the Summer. I'm a little wary because it was a very good opening, a good cold opening. I thought it was really funny, and it had like a Reddit and him posting on a Reddit that he's cursed and like everyone finds their true love. Like as soon as they break up with him, they go find their true love, and he's posting on a Reddit being like, guys, is this real? Because I think it might be real. Don't think I can feel the same way about him because his name is Justin and that is my father's name. Can't do that. But I think I can still love and adore him, and kind of like, I don't call my dad Justin, so I should be fine. I just need to kind of forget my dad's name is Justin again, because I do admit I was talking to my brother about this, mentioned this character offhandedly. I didn't remember in that moment that my dad's name was Justin until my brother brought it up to me and was like, dad's name?
Guys, no. This book is so good. Actually, I don't even know if it's good. I'm just hurting. I mean that in a good way. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I cannot believe how I'm feeling right now. I listened to this book today and I like stopped moving and replayed a section because it's hit me so hard. I don't know what she's doing to me. She being Abby Jimenez. It feels like I'm being validated and she's putting something on page that I didn't have words for. She's giving me words. And I know that that's really stupid to say about a book, but it means a lot to me. I'm having trouble with this update because like, okay, let me just tell you more about the premise. The like goofy, funny rom-com premise of this is that a guy posts on Reddit saying that like everyone breaks up with him and finds their soulmate afterwards. Like the person they date after him is their soulmate. This girl feels the same way and she reads the Reddit post and is like, that's crazy, and kind of like comments and jokes about it with him. They start up a conversation. So they date each other in order to break up with each other, kind of playfully as like a Hail Mary. If they neutralize the curse, they would both find their happily ever after. And it's very cute. They're going on dates. They're like, oh, do we get to kiss on the date? Like, how far are we going on the date? One of them admits, hey, I actually kind of would want to see you if you're ever in this area, because she is a traveling nurse. She can choose their next location, but location is Minnesota. And then an opportunity comes up and she's like, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and meet him because I actually really do want to meet him, but she's a little bit more reserved. He's funny-go-lucky and stuff like that. He's really sweet and nice. It looks like I'm missing a tooth. I'm so tired, guys. I won't tell you the time. I'll just say I was crying earlier. And it was because of this book. It wasn't even really crying or sobbing. I was kind of just like weeping. God, am I okay? This is a romance book and it is kind of like listed as a bit of a rom-com, but I'm noticing that Abby Jimenez takes a fun and quirky topic and gives into a situation that is light and humorous, and then really delves deep into an underlying issue that these characters have, and it feels a little bit therapeutic. I really do feel a cleansing feeling is the best way I can put it. I feel really good in the way that you feel after a therapy session where it wasn't fun, but you feel better. Except for she's putting a fun backdrop, so you're having these butterfly moments and you're really feeling excited about them, and then you have these hard-hitting moments. You go, ooh, this is the hard work that the characters and maybe you have to do. I'm kind of looking forward to this one ending, not because it's not like the last one. I'm feeling targeted. I want to get to the end of this because I need the catharsis. I need to see what happens. I need to see if she gets something she's looking for, and I really hope she does. This is a really long update, and I know this vlog is terribly long. Like, I have looked at it a couple of times to try and put the vlog footage together. It's a behemoth, guys. If you watched this far, thank you so much. That's so nice. I think I'm in my feelings right now. I think I'm in touch right now. It's really nice if you're still watching this, and I don't expect it to be a lot of people, just because asking people to watch like a full-length feature movie of me reading rom-coms where I don't spoil anything is kind of wild. I'm not gonna go to bed, but I am gonna stop talking because I need to listen to the rest of this book, and then I have some really busy days coming up, so I should not stay up late, and I think I'm going to anyway, and I'll just regret it over the course of the next 2 days.
I got off work a little early, which is why we get a little bit of the last glows of light. I also did not wear a red lip to work. I put it on for you. So how's that for fun and flirty? I've been mostly working on my beta read and getting ready for my seminar. However, I do need to acknowledge something that I realized when looking back at this footage, and it's that I forgot about Honey Girl. So I feel like I need to update you on Honey Girl, because I went in so ecstatic that it actually seems like there's missing footage. I got 20% of the way in and I reached an issue. I don't really care about the love interest, and I cared about her a lot before knowing her, but once I got to know her, there's not much to know thus far. We might have something like really deep happen at the 50% mark, but she's not my type. She feels like a Tumblr post come to life, an eccentric, whimsical creature not meant for this world, curated edition. I don't buy it. I don't buy her. I'm having trouble finding her interesting. I feel like some of her dialogue, it's very like, I don't know, it's trying very hard to not seem like a try-hard, and that's ironic. It's such a tough spot because I actually really like Grace, the main character, and there's some very interesting dynamics happening with her family. I feel like this isn't a romance. It's general fiction or a family story, generational trauma story with a romantic subplot. It is categorized as romance. I just feel like the romance isn't strong enough for it to be put in that category. Right now I'm not buying it, but maybe later on I will. It's not one that I'm going to DNF just because I felt so strong at the beginning, and I really am invested in Grace specifically. And there is a friendship dynamic in this that I think is really strong and my favorite part so far. I know I keep bringing up platonic love, but it's one of my favorites. It really is carrying a lot of these scenes for me. She's talking about the love interest. I'm just wishing they were talking about something else. There's so much going on outside of the romance, it almost feels like an afterthought. That's a bummer because of how excited I was, and that's kind of what drew me in, but it's almost like that was used as the hook to draw the reader in and then be like, boom, this is more important. I want those to be in conjunction with each other. I want those to work together, and it just doesn't feel very seamless right now. And so I had set it down, went on my Abby Jimenez binge, and then was sitting down doing some organization. I'm not in editing mode yet for this vlog, but I was organizing the clips, and I was like, Jade, where's Honey Girl? She only shows up once, and you're so excited. When talking about Abby Jimenez, I did start and finish Say You'll Remember Me. Completely off camera, I'm so sorry. I didn't expect it to go that fast. It was kind of devastating. That was a harrowing, the good kind of harrowing, a harrowing experience. I felt so much of their intensity and desperation. This story was so different from the other Abby Jimenez stories, and the fact that I can see that after reading them back to back to back, I'm honestly, I'm kind of speechless about how I'm feeling about Abby Jimenez. I didn't walk into this vlog thinking I was going to have someone I was going to stand for so strong, but I really enjoy Abby Jimenez, both as an author and a writer. She puts content warnings at the beginning of her book, explains her research methods behind them, where she's coming from, her personal experiences. She has an author note at the back, which kind of feels like soft and comforting way of de-stressing any of the traumatic things that were talked about in the books and giving more perspective on them. I feel like she's doing the care and the work, and she's not just busting out romances just to, you know, say that she's giving us romance. I feel like I could pick up an Abby Jimenez book, not knowing it was Abby Jimenez. If you just gave me a manuscript, I feel like I would know it was her, and I wouldn't even exactly be able to pinpoint why, because these stories are so different. I know that there's a formula buried under there somewhere. I don't feel it. I don't feel the formula as I'm reading her stories. They feel like they're going in very different directions. They have different highs and lows. If you looked at a graph and chart of my heart rate, each one would be at different points. You're not getting the formula in the feelings, and that's so nice. This book specifically touches on dementia and has two characters who have such a good chemistry and connection at the beginning of this book, and you have such a good time with them, and then everything kind of comes to the realization point that they are not going to be able to live in the same place anymore, and it felt like a drench of cold water. I was just like, oh, absolutely not. This can't happen. And then it does, and you feel their desperation, their love to get back together. It's almost like the book is the third act breakup and they're trying to get back to each other. And this is a romance novel, and there was a lot of love, and I felt butterflies. She also did a really good job of showing this issue on page and making it really justified as to why these two characters could not be together at this time. Talking about self-care and finding that middle ground between putting your all or nothing into another person. Wow. Abby Jimenez has set a new bar for me. Not as romance, just in general, but I do get to now start Yours Truly. I think that finishes me off as far as the Abby Jimenez books, because she has a new one coming out, but it's not coming out until like spring. But that was this update. I need to go back to beta reading. I'm reading 10,000 words a day to get this one done on time, but because I picked up another order that I really wanted to do, a light novel, which I rarely get as beta orders go, I really wanted this one, and it's a reoccurring gig, so I'm like, okay, that's more money. It seems like it's already really polished, but it is 2 orders now, so now I'm reading 20,000 words a day. I'm gonna go back to trying to get a handle on this, and I'll just get back to you later on Honey Girl and yours truly.
Hi, quick yours truly update, because I'm actually headed to a club activity today. There's great anxiety rep. I really like how she's dealing with anxiety, and I just feel like it's really spot on. There's fake dating, but I felt like it kind of took too long to get there. I knew that that was what was happening, but it hadn't happened yet. Hold on, one of my students are coming. Okay, I'm now hiding on a bike stoop. Cannot afford to be seen. I can't help but compare it to the other Abby Jimenez books and feel like I'm missing that feverish feeling that had come over me earlier. I'm not feeling as much with this one, but I feel like it's also too early to solidify it as me not being into the book, because I really like the characters. I'm missing a fire, but I am liking it, and I am liking the anxiety rep. I'm gonna go walk over to the club activities now, and I'll catch up later.
Okay, so I finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and I liked it. Maybe even really liked it, but I didn't love it. That just came down to the chemistry I really struggled with, because like I felt like all of their struggles were really valid. I thought they took care of each other really nicely. And this had a fake dating trope, which I have found I really do like. It didn't feel believable that neither of them believed that they weren't fake dating. It was almost like they liked each other too much for the fake dating part of it to work, so it like kind of broke the tension up. But the anxiety rep was really good. If you struggle with anxiety, there was some really good validation in here. It's a realistic depiction, but that's what I've come to expect out of Abby Jimenez books, so that was par for the course. I just wanted to feel a little bit more with the characters. I was so obsessed almost with the other books that this one just did feel okay. I just liked it a normal amount, which is both a little bit of a bummer, but also kind of relieving, because this was the second in a series that's already very well established, and I loved the first and the third. If I had just read this in between, it wouldn't have been a big deal, and I would have been like, okay, she's back on it. I don't think that she's slowly descending into a less creative headspace or something like that. Like, this one just wasn't as for me as the other ones felt curated for me. But I'm also left feeling incredibly empty, not because of the book, but because that's the last of my Abby Jimenez books that I have on my Libby save. I was told not to backlist. I think I do need a break. This is supposed to be a romance vlog, not an Abby Jimenez vlog. I've been reading a lot of Abby Jimenez. I need to switch gears, and I feel like such a major book hangover coming on, but we still have a lot of the month left to go, and I don't want to slump. I don't want a hangover. I want to keep the momentum going. I have a slumber party that I'm hosting for a 7-year-old tonight, so I have to clean my entire apartment, so I will be looking at books on my list that are audiobooks. This is a very important 7-year-old. This is my friend's daughter. This is her first slumber party, like pajama party. We are doing a mixture of both Japanese cultural things and Western cultural things. Small kids in Japan are really into these 3D stickers. We're going to do a sticker swap. These are glow in the dark. I've been collecting them for weeks and putting them in my new sticker book, because I have a sticker book now. You can't just give a whole bunch of new stickers to kids. You have to trade them, like trading cards. I have been collecting them. We are going to swap, so I will get some of hers, she'll get some of mine. We have to bargain and trade. We're doing that. She's also never painted her nails before. This will be her first time. This is not a thing that's normal to do for kids in Japan. This is something where it's a very special event that she's getting to paint her nails, and her mom already okayed it. Her mom is my friend and is totally on board with all of this. I am not unconsensually painting a child's nails. And I went ahead and I got the gel sets, fake nails too, in case my friend also wants to do it, but we have work, so we have to be really specific about what kind of nails we do. So I got some fake nails that we can do that are a bit more neutral. This was only 300 yen, but it's a UV lamp so that we can do our nails. Hair braiding. We're also going to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. It's not hit big here. Like, a lot of people, when I talk about it or recommend it, they don't know about it, but I know my very small 7-year-old best friend is going to love it. Like, I really hope so. Anyway, I really hope this is going to be special. I want this to be special and fun. We have a mixture of Japanese snacks and American snacks. We're gonna make pizza, and we're also going to the onsen, so that's kind of like the spa of it all. Do one of the salt baths and then the salt sauna where you like rub like the minerals all over you. But that also means I won't be able to update you today because I really need to clean my house. Like my house has kind of been a disaster since I was on vacation. We just wanted to relax and enjoy ourselves over the vacation, so we really loafed. We severely loafed, and then it kind of hit us that I was going back to work. He also has work. It's been a slow decline into absolute havoc and chaos. I'm gonna clean. I'm not gonna vlog it though because I'm trying to keep this condensed. I'm trying to keep us on track as much as possible, and I've already gotten us off track by having a pajama party at my house. And I'll let you know which audiobook I end up picking up to clean. You're still on the tripod, so you're at an absurd height. This is a weird angle, but I really don't have time to film. I picked up Take a Hint Dani Brown, which is the third in the Brown Sisters series. The first one being, well, I don't know because I didn't start that one. I started the third, but they're interconnected standalone. So this is not, I don't think this is a faux pas. It's by Talia Hipper. It's so funny. I keep wishing I'm catching myself on camera because I'm just like sitting here doing my cleaning and just sporadically in the complete and total silence, just like cackling. I'll try and do a premise really quickly. It's kind of just absurd. It is absolutely absurd. It's another fake dating, which I think I really enjoy. I really enjoy fake dating when it's done correctly. It's following Dani Brown, who starts off by, I'm showing my underwear. What is this? Okay. Anyway, just don't mind the underwear. Focus on me. Right here. Look at Saucy. Dani Brown is like queen of one night stands, not committal. Really liking that as a trope too. I like when the girl is not committal and the guy is like head over heels. That's something I really enjoy. I like when the dude falls first or falls hard and the chick is a little bit more like reserved about it. Like, whoa, calm down. She does a spell being like, I'd like my next fling to come in. I want my booty call, my like side piece, I can't think of any more objectifying ways to talk about men. She's looking for her next person that she wants to have casual sex with, as someone to call up, but not be in a relationship with. So she does like a spell, and after getting stuck in an elevator, can I just say, Dani is one of the most dramatic human beings I've ever come in contact with. Her and Delphi would have a ball together. She gets stuck in an elevator very, very briefly in a false emergency, and Zaf, the security guard, saves her, and she immediately is turned on by him, and he carries her out. She's like swooning, and it was absurd, but it was so funny. The delivery was so good. Zaf used to be a rugby player. The social media buzz around him carrying her out has led people to ship them together, and it helps his youth program or something like that. They're doing a little bit of fake dating for the children, and so she can seduce him, but he's a hopeless romantic. It's so much fun, and we're getting Zaf's perspective as well. It's another dual POV, so I'm very happy with that. Going back in, try and get things done. I'm enjoying Take a Hint Dani Brown.
Jingle Bell House.
Jingle Bell House.
Jingle Bell House.
Hi, good morning. My sleepover has ended. It was so much fun. Guys, if you miss slumber parties and sleepovers, and if you have kids or your friends have kids, I highly recommend throwing a little sleepover or inviting your friends over and just having a pajama sleepover slumber party with your adult friends. It was so much fun. My soul feels clean. We went to the onsen. We kind of like just pampered ourselves and we did our nails. We made a gingerbread house, which had no gingerbread included, but it was like a chocolate cookie house because she hadn't gotten to do it for Christmas and she still really wanted to do it. So we put that together. We watched K-pop Demon Hunters 3 times in a row in one night. The first time we all watched it together and it was in Japanese, and then she wanted to watch it again, but we were like, we just watched that movie 25 minutes ago. We're not watching it again right now. And she was begging, and we were, we were trying to be kind of like lax, and we were gonna be eating dinner anyway. So we turned it on again, this time in English, because we thought she'd be less engaged in it. She was just as engaged. She was already starting to memorize some of the words and say them in English. She was seeing the differences from the first time. All the time she'd laughed in the Japanese version, she was catching on to the same jokes in English and saying them back and echoing them. And then we all started singing along to all the songs while we did all of this fun stuff. Oh, we did our sticker trade. So here's my sticker book, and I got some Mean cool stickers. Look at these. I definitely love the food ones. Here's the next page. I had to trade like 3 stickers for this set. To fall asleep, I did end up finishing Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and it was good. It was so good the entire way through. It was really funny. It got a little deep and touching, like there were heavier topics, but it never felt really as heavy and as deep divey as like Abby Jimenez or anything like that. I felt like I was just kind of in a fun, low stakes place. I really liked Dani as a character. I thought she was very cool and different from the other characters. I've enjoyed all of the other main characters, but Dani brought something different that I want to see more of. And I think I had compared her a little bit to Delphi. And so I think I like a little bit more of a pessimistic main character. She doesn't have to be full force curmudgeon like Delphi. Someone who's just a little more on the grumpy side, a little less on the sunshine is kind of what I was figuring out while reading Dani Brown. I'm like, why do I like Dani so much? Because she was funny, she was fun, but she also was a little bit cynical, a little untrusting. I immediately wanted to check out her other books. I mean, not Dani Brown's books. She's not a real person. I wanted to check out the rest of the series. There is a forever list on Libby for those books, so I won't be able to read more in this vlog, which I am bummed about. But the Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey did come up, and then I'm still reading Honey Girl. The writing in Honey Girl is so pretty, almost distracting sometimes. Like sometimes I really have to try and parse out the meaning of what's being said. I feel like I'm losing some of the character in the writing of it, and there are a lot of characters. A lot of characters where it's feeling a little overwhelming. I'm trying to keep track of them all, but there are so many characters, and I'm just noticing that it is hard to keep up with everyone, and there's not enough depth and description within each one. But the narrative itself is very beautifully written, so I feel like a lot of the strength of the author kind of flows into that, and having descriptive writing versus in-depth characters. Except for Grace. There's all these characters swirling around her, and then kind of like a nebulous plot swirling around her. She's so regimented, and she's trying to kind of get out of that. She's becoming less regimented, therefore I'm losing her as a character that I'm understanding because she's becoming more poetic. Is this the analogy? Am I supposed to be feeling like that? I don't know. I can't tell if it's being done intentionally or not. I'm gonna read more Honey Girl, start the Au Pair Affair, and clean up a little bit. I started cleaning and then realized I hadn't updated you. I'm DNFing the Au Pair Affair. I did not like that. I didn't get very far. I only did chapter 1. I was able to identify what I didn't like about it right away, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to invest in the romance based off of this. It felt so very try-hard. I've been too impressed right off the bat too many times to be taken in by the Au Pair Affair. This is nothing against Tessa Bailey or people who like Tessa Bailey. It was immediately not for me. I've read too many things that are. Also, if you are following me on Pagebound, which I definitely want you to, just so you know, I just kind of started to update my romance thing, and I realized I didn't want to give anything away for this vlog, so it's kind of a mess on there right now. My Pagebound is not up to the caliber it will be. I will be cleaning it up after I've given all of these their different star ratings. Not a great start to how my Pagebound looks, but you should definitely add me, and it won't always look like that. It will eventually look like it actually represents my reading habits and my reading taste. As of right now, it does none of that. It's all scattershot because I started to say I was reading some. I just DNF'd the Au Pair Affair after adding it. It's a work in progress right now, but I'm also trying to give an air of mystery. It's causing it to look terrible. But add me on Pagebound. My links are down below. I come to you today chock full of updates. First off, I finished Honey Girl. It was okay. I really loved the beginning. I can still remember feeling the butterflies and the magic from reading that opening, and I really continued to enjoy the friendship dynamics, the support that the main character got in some areas, and I really continued not to enjoy the parental figures and some of the choices that were made, and the fact that we kind of felt like we lost the plot, or at least I was no longer able to follow it. I just also never got back around to enjoying the love interest. I was confused at sometimes by Porter or Grace. She was kind of the thing that was keeping me going, so the moment that I lost the main character and I didn't understand her motivations, I legitimately was not getting all of her reasoning behind what she was doing, and I did disagree with her fundamentally, and I felt like some of the things that were happening were not challenged. I lost the feeling I was feeling at the beginning. I guess one of the things I would would say is I felt like it was a romance second and just a contemporary fiction first, and possibly a novel in verse. Still inconclusive on that, but it was really beautiful writing. I just feel romance was very much so like a subplot and kept carrying itself as if it was the main plot. It was just like the catalyst for events. I don't know, it didn't mesh well. I would actually probably recommend this for someone who really liked Radio Silence and those vibes. While Radio Silence is platonic and follows characters in a platonic friendship, that still could apply here in a lot of ways. It did have sapphic undertones and I really enjoyed those moments. I just didn't enjoy the characters as much in those moments, and one of the characters was just, I never felt like they were fleshed out enough to uphold this plot. I still would recommend it to people. I think that I would go in with a different kind of expectation maybe. I don't know. It was good and it just wasn't as good for me. And then I am very, very softly pausing American Queen by Sierra Simone. Immediately, this is a spicy book. It was doing a really good job of everything it needed to do. I was getting a little derailed by the fact that it's an Arthurian legend that actually seems to be following the Arthurian legend pattern. Like, I was getting too invested in not having anything to do with the sexual tension, the romance. I am a huge avid Arthurian legend fan. I almost was an Arthurian legend major. I took several classes in college. I almost went down that life path. Historian bachelor's degree in Arthurian legend, and then had to think about my other passions such as teaching and all of that. Like, but there was like a moment. There was about 2 semesters where I thought I was going a different way in life. I need more time with this book. I cannot just toss this into a romance vlog. I think it needs its own thing. I still want to review a whole bunch of Arthurian legend books. This could very well fit into that. It doesn't fit this vlog. It's its own thing. I think it would be all consuming and I want to kind of savor it a little bit, but it did kind of prep me for Sierra Simone. I'm gonna start Priest today. This feels like a final boss, but I also want to keep reading other romance books because I still have quite a bit left in this month. I liked Sierra Simone's writing style. I felt like she was being really explicit, but also the characters were there. Like, I felt like there was characterization. I have worked up to this and I'm here now. I will say this right off the bat. I'm not Christian. I'm not going to be going into this book having much understanding of Christianity. I don't think that this book is trying to make me Christian. I don't think this book is expecting everyone to read it to be Christian. But I'm pagan, so like I feel like I'm going in with a fresh ignorance, you know? Couldn't tell you a lot of things that a lot of people think is common sense within like the world, but it's Christian and I don't know anything about it, okay? The United States is not a Christian nation. It's a free nation in theory that allows everyone to have a different religion, including Christianity. You have the freedom to be Christian, but I am not. I know that they have to put a plot in here, so what are we doing? He's a priest, and here is his confession. There are many rules a priest can't break. A priest cannot marry. I knew that. I knew priests couldn't marry. Pastors can, though. You have a pastor's daughter, but you can't have a priest's daughter. A priest cannot marry. A priest cannot abandon his flock. A priest cannot forsake his God. That seems self-explanatory. Tyler Bell has had no problem playing by the rules for the past 3 years after a family tragedy set him on the path to priesthood. Family tragedy is actually my trigger, but I did have a friend reach out to me, tell me that, and helped me with skipping some pages. So I have tabs to completely avoid my trigger. I know what happened to one of his family members, how it happened, and any time that it is mentioned and he is contemplating flashbacking it or anything having to do with that, I'm skipping over. But in case you want to or need to know about this trigger, I will go ahead and put the spoiler here and now. The content warning or trigger and what happened to his family member, specifically his sister, was suicide via hanging. It was said to be in pretty horrific and stunning detail in this book, so I have completely skipped over that. So I won't be making any mention of that past this. That's the end of the spoilers there, but wanted to acknowledge that. That all changes when the delicious, sultry voice of Poppy Danforth sinks its claws into him through the screen of his confession booth, and he can't get her sins out of his head. Let's get started. Let's do this. Let's do this on camera. Why did I decide to do this on camera? Okay, we got a prologue here. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, it's a 1-page prologue. It was pretty much the back of the book a little bit. This is my confession. I wasn't a very good priest. Let's find out how he was a bad priest. A priest spacing out in the middle of a confession is honestly so funny to me. Like, to just imagine. I don't know how you would. If you're hearing everyone else's problems like all day and you're just sitting in a box and you can't see anyone, you have zero context for what they're talking about. except for what they give you. Just a long-term venting session, and he's just like staring at a wall and he's like, please say that again. Oh, only took 4 pages. We have the sultry voice. Sultry voice has entered the chat. Oh, and she's not Catholic. She's not Catholic. She's just coming in. She's just dropping by to see if something else works. She's giving her confession. She's just like, I don't know if I can tell anyone this. I especially don't think I can tell you this. And I'm like, did you murder someone? No, Jade, she probably had sex. That's probably what she's talking about. The priest is all interested. He's like, oh no, I could feel my heart rate increasing. And I'm like, cause she killed someone. Do priests have to tell if you admit to killing someone in like one of these booths? Do they have immunity from telling? Because even counselors, like and therapists, if you say that you harmed another person, you can still be reported. But do priests get out of that? In my head, like I'm like, Christianity is all powerful. You don't have to play by the rules. They definitely don't a lot of the time. So I'm like, what can she confess? Oh, she's flirting. Flirting with a priest in the box. I too would have been really surprised if my priest that I couldn't see was also wearing jeans, because that's not the image of what I thought he was wearing. So the fact that he's like, I'm wearing jeans, and she's like, what? He's like, is that so shocking? I'm like, yeah, kinda. Oh, damn, that's fast. This is fast. He just met her. He wants to kiss her tears. 3 years in the priesthood was enough for him. First little section. We're still in the same chapter, but after like getting him all hot and riled, he left the priest box and she was gone. I like the idea that he doesn't know who she is. It's just based off of their personality. I hope this confession back and forth thing continues, where they're just talking candidly just through, I guess it's like Love is Blind. Like they're just talking through the booth. She's giving all of her confessions and they're like kind of spicy and simmery. I feel like that's a good way to do a slow burn. He's just constantly trying to listen to her voice in his crowd or his flock, the people attending church, and then at some point he hears her voice. This is not what actually happens. I have no idea, but I like the idea of that, so I hope that that's what's being set up. Okay, well, ignore everything I just said. I liked that idea. The same chapter proved me wrong immediately. They both like jogging. They can bond over that. I liked the epistolary style of getting her confession because she's speaking to him, so it's not second person. It's not you, but she's saying like the father, the priest, or whatever. I cannot imagine saying that to a priest. I can't imagine saying that to anyone. But I mean, you know, let it out, girl. I feel like I need to put my saucy shirt back on. We need to get saucy out here. I've returned with saucy. I'm not trying to spoil this book, so I'm trying to keep my comments somewhat out of context, but I am having fun. I'm without words, but I am having fun. I think this priest is maybe he jumped in a little too soon to the priesthood. Maybe he could have contemplated this a little bit more, but I mean, he said he hasn't had this problem in 3 years, so he was doing great. I mean, 3 years, you know, that would make me think I was probably gonna be all right, that I'd made the right choice. 3 years in, being like, I'm not having a problem with my libido, but that has changed for him, and I'm kind of like, buddy, this was so fast and so easy. He is enraptured. Oh wait, is that no, the rapture. Okay, we're good. Saying all of this to a priest is wild. Holy. She's like not holding back. Like she's not just like, this is what's happened to me. It's like, let me tell you what happened to me in so many details. Exactly how I felt while this was happening. She's not like, I had sex with a man, does that make me bad? It's, this is what I did, this is how I felt, this is how I felt about it, and then I did this, and this is why I did this, and then I felt this way about it, and this is how my body felt. Is that bad? Like, it's probably bad. The priest probably thinks it's bad, but he's telling her he doesn't think it's bad. Oh. I'm only laughing because I am on camera right now and like I'm just trying to maintain. I can't believe I'm reading this. He really likes her voice though, and I think that that's sweet. Holy cow, bro! Now the priest is confessing things to us that I'm like, oh, Okay. Okay. You know what he likes more than her voice? Her mouth. The thing expelling the voice. He's like super... I feel like she probably could really use some counseling though. He also, you can tell he really does want to help her and he's like, I'm not the guy to talk to. Like, can you send her to like a counselor or a therapist? Like, she needs to talk to somebody about these things. I don't think you're the one. But he does seem like he does care. He's like, gosh, I wish I could help her, but instead I just want to do things to her mouth. He like really likes The Walking Dead. He breaks that up a lot. He really, really likes The Walking Dead. Like, I would say he's maybe possibly even a super fan. He is on the Reddit. Yes. Yes, you most likely, if there is a hell, you're probably going to it based off of your rules. I can't say any of that out loud. I'm not gonna say any of that out loud. Her eyelashes made me hard, is a sentence I just read. Oh, buddy. Cold showers are good. You should definitely take one of those. 2, 3, 4, 10 cold showers. Not him calling her a lamb. A lost lamb. I see why he joined the priesthood. I'm just like, it bears contemplation. By all means, try and fight this. He's not fighting it. Him trying to fight something is not him trying to fight very hard. He's thinking about trying to fight this. This dude has taken so many cold showers. He just keeps going back to the shower and being like, cold shower, is it working? I don't think so. I think you need more than a cold shower. I think maybe you need God or Jesus. I don't know. One of those two. Both? Never mind. Don't answer that. He's wearing an Armani belt? Aren't those expensive? Oh, it's a hand-me-down. Glad we made that clear. I'm wearing Armani secondhand. Lutheran! My friend is Lutheran! I just learned about this one because Martin Luther, was the first one to make pamphlets. And he like tacked one to the door of the Catholic Church. My friend just was telling me about how they used to be Lutheran and were giving me a whole rundown in preparation for this book. Which wasn't as helpful because they were Lutheran and not Catholic. But you know, Lutheran drop. Dude, no, don't smell her. You what? All over your desk? No! He just put that in an aside. Parentheses. By the way, this is what happened to my desk later. Oh my god. Bro. Don't tell me that. There's gotta be limits. We have to have boundaries. Someone needs to have boundaries. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't make eye contact with me. Do not perceive me right now. I know that I'm on camera. I know that this doesn't make sense. I said I was gonna do it. I don't know what I'm doing. They both have really, really vivid imaginations. I don't think a plot has happened. I think it's just these two people being really excited about each other and not being able to be allowed to be excited about each other. But that is like the only thing that's happened. That and him mentioning The Walking Dead as often as possible. That's the only thing distracting him is the zombie apocalypse. They need to stop meeting for lunch. Stop meeting! Stop meeting! Stop talking to each other! Tyler has mentioned so many times in passing that he's a feminist and that he went into feminine women's studies and that he almost became a women's major. He's dropped that information so many times. He'll put it in parentheses and asides. He'll drop it into like conversations. He'll give it to us in a narrative being like, I know that this is really bad because I'm a feminist. That's good. I'm glad you read the books. Glad you did the research. I am truly having a ball, but I'm also just so stunned and mortified. It's such an interesting juxtaposition that I'm having here. The font is big. The pages are going really fast because there is no plot. I'm reading every single word on the page, but it's going fast because I'm like, I get it. He's being very clear. It's nice to run into you, Father. Girl, you are stalking him. You are following this priest. There's no way. I think that this is harassment, actually. She keeps doing asides in her confession to be like, are you thinking about how much of a mess I am? How pathetic I am for all these thoughts I'm having? No, but she's got other things going on in her life, for sure. In a church? Dude, you can't do that. He's looking right at him. He's looking right at him. Jesus is looking directly at it. This is, you can't do that. Jesus is right there. I don't think that's how that works. Oh, well, that's creative. I walked back to the rectory, more like e-rectory. Am I right? I need to take a break. I've made it this much of the way through, and I have been filming for so long, I cannot imagine how long this is gonna take to edit. Let me collect my thoughts. let me collect my face. I'll be back soon. Okay, I'm gonna go get some lunch, and I was thinking like, if I wanted to start another book audibly, and then I looked at the list, there are a couple that I put as unsuspended, but they haven't gotten to me yet, so I don't know really what to start or what to do, but I don't want to read more Priest right now. Like I need a second. I need a break. And I have to like share less and less with you as we get plot, because a plot thing happened. There was, at the very beginning of the book, they'd mentioned needing more money for the church, a fundraiser, and now they started talking about a fundraiser. So I'm like, plot. That's happening now sometimes. Scarcely. I was reminded though, the Emily Henry book, People We Meet on Vacation, recently got turned into a Netflix movie. That book is not currently on my list because it was such a long wait that it was like months. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it in time. The movie is on Netflix, and something I stand by is watching the movie first instead of reading the book if I can help it. If it's a book I haven't read, I'm not going to read the book and then watch the movie because then I'm guaranteed to hate the movie. I know too much about the characters. I'm too loyal for it. But if I do it in the reverse and I watch the movie, then I'll want to read the book even if I know the ending and the plot. So I'm going to be spoiling, not this vlog, I won't be spoiling anything in this vlog, but I'm going to be spoiling myself for People We Meet on Vacation. So I'll give you my thoughts on People We Meet on Vacation, the movie, spoiler free, and have some lunch. That seems like nice, and it's still like on theme, and it kind of gives my brain a little bit of a rest.
What do you want? You can do anything you want.
Okay, quickest of updates. I thought that the movie was really entertaining. The main character, she really frustrated me. I actually found her quite obnoxious, and every single time that I knew it was supposed to be lovable, I wasn't loving it. Sometimes the love interest felt that way, and I was like, okay, so we're on the same page here. She's giving us anxiety. It's not that I dislike that she's a free spirit, but that she is a free spirit at the expense of other people. She was not my favorite. She was not my favorite, but maybe that would change if I was in her perspective, because I couldn't help but keep feeling like I was more in the guy's perspective because I was relating more to his initial reactions, which was frustration, and then he skipped over into La La Land and I was left alone. Sometimes I liked her, sometimes she was fine. I sometimes liked their friendship, but I was mostly there for the interest of knowing what would happen next. I was kind of on board during a dance scene, and then I kind of jumped right back off because she makes a decision and a choice I did not agree with. It was definitely challenged. There were consequences to the action. It really said something about her character, that she was just kind of a mess. There was a character I really liked, but she was definitely a secondary character. I was relating to her the most, and she was not the main character. But tried and true, I always liked the book more, and being in the point of view perspective, I'll be able to empathetically maybe understand some of her choices, or maybe there were changes made. I have no idea. Speaking of Emily Henry, while I was watching this, Libby, I don't know, spidey sensed me. One of her books came up. I can't keep them straight, so let me go ahead and check which one it was. Happy Place. So I'm going to be starting my Emily Henry journey with Happy Place alongside reading Priest physically. I think I'll probably listen to Happy Place tonight as I go to sleep, and I'll read Priest a little bit more later. But I was talking to Soleil and sending her updates on this because she liked the movie and she liked the book and she liked the main character, so we differed there. And she was being so patient with me while I ripped apart a story she enjoyed. She also mentioned that Abby Jimenez has a bakery. The moment she told me what the name of the bakery was, I was like, this bakery is always mentioned in her books, and it's her, Abby Jimenez's real bakery. That is pristine marketing. But then she told me more. She told me Abby Jimenez has actually been on Cupcake Wars, and that there's an episode of Cupcake Wars in which I can watch Abby Jimenez make cupcakes. What do you mean I can watch Abby Jimenez on Cupcake Wars? They took Cupcake Wars off of Netflix. It's now on HBO, but I found the episode. It's season 4, episode 7. So I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch Abby Jimenez make cupcakes. We're back into the romance spirit, because as much fun as I'm having reading Priest, Olivia Savannah did warn me that it is more erotica than it is romance, and I can say for certain these characters don't know each other well enough yet to love each other. I'll be countering a bit of that with watching Abby Jimenez in Cupcake Wars. I hope she wins. I'm not going to tell you who won Cupcake Wars, but I just have to say that was phenomenal. I really enjoyed watching that. It was also fascinating to watch Abby Jimenez as a person, just like functioning. She owned the cupcake company, so she's like telling people what to do, very in charge. All of her books had a medical aspect to them where everyone was either a doctor or a veterinarian or a surgeon. They were all in the medical field. Just seeing her do cupcakes, I was like, you kind of seem like a surgeon. You are her reassembling this body into a cupcake. It was very interesting to watch her work. Her books are so heartfelt, and like so were her cupcakes, but she came off on screen as like not being necessarily warm and fuzzy, but like, let's get this done. Fascinating. I really enjoyed watching that random episode of Cupcake Wars, possibly more than I enjoyed People We Meet on Vacation. I'm not even having a bad time. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Am I beet red? I feel like I'm on fire. I can't believe I'm vlogging this. I don't know what to do though. Like, I've put so much work into this vlog, and I even start off by talking about priests. I mentioned it on Pagebound that I was reading it and I was like, this was a bad idea. I didn't know how bad of an idea it was. I'm probably gonna finish this today so that I can be done. Who's Leviticus? Sierra Simone has a forward, like a quick mention at the beginning of the book, bringing up the fact that she is or was Catholic. Hold on, let me go to the page. I just keep reminding myself of that. I was like, this is someone who grew up with Catholicism and then wrote this book. I spent the majority of my life in the Catholic faith, and while I no longer am Catholic, no kidding, I still have the utmost affection and respect for the Catholic Church. While the town of Weston is real and delightful, St. Margaret and Father Bell are inventions of my imagination. I don't think Father Bell, there's not a moment in my life where I'm like, Father Bell, Tyler exists. That being said, the novel is about a Catholic priest falling in love. You could say he's in love. There is sex, more sex, and definitely some blasphemy. The fun kind. You've been warned. They are having so much fun. And you know what? I'm having fun too. What am I even talking about? I'm just avoiding, I have nothing to say. Falling in love, I'm just looking at the word lick and how many times it's used in this page. Falling in love is something that I suppose you could say is happening. I don't know. It's not the main course of this story. I'm going back in, guys. I'm finishing this today. I'm not getting off work and then going to go read this and then giving you updates after work. I'll be so tired. Like, I can't do this while like, haggard. I'm doing this while I'm fresh. I'm halfway through Priest. The way that I'm learning about church geography, like the layouts of a church by all of the places you're not supposed to have sex in a church. What? This book is crazy. Never mind, I can't do this update. I'm not finished yet. I've made some progress. No, I don't have anything to say. Keep thinking I can say things and then I'm like, I can't say that. I can't talk about this. I also don't want to spoil it. I don't know necessarily that I'm spoiling anything, actually. The way that he has both a Catholic kink and a domination kink, and like he's really into her. There's so many Catholic things happening to this woman and also him happening to this woman, and like he also keeps like saying like, no, this was terrible, this was bad, I shouldn't treat you like this. And then she's like, it's fine, I'm independent. True, that's true. She shouldn't be kink shamed for enjoying this. They just keep having that conversation. And she's definitely consenting. This is consensual. Everyone wants this. I finished Priest. That ending, there is no way. I don't want to spoil anything. I've read so many romance books in this vlog. They all have like the happily ever after moment. And this happily ever after moment, I cannot believe to the final page this was happening. What horn dogs? This was wild. I can't believe Madison looked me in the eye and gave me this and was like, you should read this. That's not normal behavior. Like, what? At least Olivia Savannah, I asked her straight up, I'm like, is this a romance? And she was like, no, but it was too late. I mean, I asked too late is what really happened. My nerve endings, I feel like I'm buzzing from laughing and being like, oh my god, I can't believe I read that. The idea of going into a romance where there's any sexual tension right now, I think I will implode. I think I need a minute. I have to eat dinner. I'm just gonna take the night and I will talk to you about Happy Place tomorrow. I wasn't expecting to finish this in the day. I was expecting this to be kind of like the finale, but that's just not how this vlog is gonna be. I can already tell. Like, I do need to continue reading, and there's so much more of this month left. Can't say I'm glad that you witnessed it, but I did put it in my vlog, so as with this book, it was all technically consensual.
I keep keep saying quick update, and that's just simply not true. I'm looking at my hour and 40-minute footage right now. I've scanned through. I've done as much as I can to keep context and like make it worth a vlog. These are not quick updates, and I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna keep apologizing until the end of time, or at least the end of this vlog, which will eventually come. It has to happen. I also started Happy Place. That opening was so fun. It was a huge build up, a reveal. Instantly, the tension just grabbed me. The characters' interactions felt very realistic, very solid opening. One of the better openings of these books. A brief summary of what Happy Place is. Our main character is going to a last get together with her friends. The reason why it's the last get together, or at least how it normally is because their friend group is changing. One of their friends is getting married, and she and her long-term partner, who's another part of the friend group, just broke up. The friend group doesn't know that, and in order to not ruin this last hurrah that has like a lot of other build-up behind it, it's not just because their friends are getting married, like there's a lot going on, but I don't want to spill any of the reveal. But in order to not ruin the mood, they're not telling their friends they're gonna have the last hurrah, so they're fake dating. I have decided I very much so like the fake dating trope. I like the situation it puts them in. I like a bit of the mischievous sense to it and them like questioning what's real and what's not. I think I actually like it better than rivals or enemies to lovers. I don't know, it's not as believable for me. When I was reading, what was it? Love Theoretically. It was so hard for me to believe how much she was holding on to because it felt like so little. And the way that they were attracted to each other, I just wasn't buying it. My feelings towards the person does kind of dictate if I find them physically attractive. So if I think that they are doing something wrong or bad, I don't look at them physically and go, I also want to jump your bones though. That just doesn't happen for me. I understand it happens for other people, not for me. It worked more with Not in Love because I felt like there was some understanding that these weren't the worst people. They were more of like rivals, and there was a questioning, and it was just kind of sex-based. They were like trying to get something out of their system. I very much so like the fake dating setup. That's been fun for me. I have had the most fun with those books as I think back. I can't really say much else about Happy Place, except I think it's just really crisp and well written. I'm kind of flying through it, and I was excited to pick it up every single part of the day that I had like free time, which I don't really have. I don't have free time. I still need to finish beta reading other people's work, and then I'm also doing edits on my book. My cover reveal came out, and I need to do marketing for that. Oh, here's my cover reveal. Put it in a different video, but you know, I like I said, I'm behind on marketing. Here is book 2 in my political fantasy novel. This is book 1. Start there. I'm gonna listen to more of Happy Place, but I do need to do editing first, so that will be my reward. Dude, Happy Place is cute. I'll give it that. It's cute. This is one of the most kind of light and fuzzy books I've read so far in this vlog. They've all had kind of like something else really serious going on, and something the characters are working on, and I thought that I almost needed that in my books, but I don't feel that way about this book. I like that it's light and fun and playful, and I know that this problem matters to them, but I don't want to say it doesn't matter to me. It does. I'm not worried about it. You know, I'm not pressed. It is snowing a lot. It's been snowing a lot for the past few days, and today school ended an hour early, so I'm wondering if tomorrow might be a snow day. Those are very rare here, but it would give me more reading time, so more than kind of wishful thinking. Hi, I just looked at the footage because I'm now up to date on editing this vlog, and so if my updates are more brief, it's just because I am so stressed by how large this vlog is. I cannot comprehend what I thought I was doing, making a month-long vlog where I was updated on every single book I read. What was the game plan, Jade? Anyway, I finished Happy Place. It didn't feel like special to me like some of the other books I have read. I felt like invested while reading it, and then when I finished it, I was like, that was so good, I can't wait to update and talk about it. And then I got to this update and I was like, I don't really feel like I know what to say. Foreshadowing and reveals, you know, the things that happen in a plot were really well done. Had a very found family feel to it, if you like that sort of thing. I certainly do. I feel like I don't need to recommend Emily Henry, though. I think she might be the romance author everyone knows about. I just don't know that for sure. I don't know. I'm getting this from YouTube channels that do reactions to the Goodreads Choice Awards, and they'll always kind of bet on her. I haven't really looked into or paid attention to it much. I actually really want to read a funny story because I read the synopsis and I was like, that sounds good. That sounds really interesting to me. It's about two characters who get broken up with by their partners because their partners want to be together. And it's them having to be like, this is awkward, but like they have that in common and that's it. They don't know each other outside of it. That premise sounds fantastic. I've also heard that it has fake dating. This is something I want. This is something I need. And it has a 3-week wait, and I'm really upset because I don't really want to read anything else. I do not know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna use my laptop for light because there's just not much light in here. And I don't want to turn the overhead light on. I did not have a snow day, and it was actually kind of a busy day, so I'm like kind of fighting a headache, which is why I'm gonna blare this screen in my face. My camera is full and I'm afraid to clear anything out. It wasn't a big vlog, but I did one for Cemetery Boys and I had lots of footage just because it was like a day in my life, lots of other stuff happening too, and I clicked the wrong button. Something happened. I took the memory card out too fast. I don't know. Why am I on here? What am I talking to you about? Oh yeah, okay. Time is of the essence, Jade. Funny story. Can't get it right now. You Again seems to have the same premise. Hold on, let me read it rapid speed with my dyslexia. A free-spirited, struggling comedian who likes to keep things casual. I like that. Ari sublets, takes gigs, never sleeps over after hooking up. Born and bred Manhattanite, Josh has ambitious plans to take the culinary world by storm. Find the one, make her breakfast in a spotless kitchen. That's fine. They have absolutely nothing in common except for that they happen to be sleeping with the same woman. So now I'm like, is this funny story? But there's bi energy happening, which I'm all here for. Ari and Josh never expected their paths to cross again. But years later, as they both reel from ego-bruising breakups, a chance encounter leads to a surprising connection. Friendship. A girl not wanting to bone with commitment. Literally the premise to Funny Story, but with bi energy. I'm stepping into this book and I'll let you know what I think. Possibly with better lighting. I don't know. I'll take an ibuprofen. Guys, no, I hate it. Let me get the light. Okay, that didn't help. I don't want to turn the light on. It's like 9:30. I'm doing this for you. Ugh. I'm going under the covers. We're gonna talk. I absolutely loathe what's happening in You Again. I really don't like this. I'm going to quit. I just need to tell you guys why so that we can get a firm understanding that I dislike and I didn't realize I couldn't really read for the main character to be complicit in cheating. This is like in the first chapter too. This is the meet cute. The meet cute for this couple is her sleeping with his girlfriend who she is not with, and she is aware of him but he's not aware of her until she tells him in the most callous, uncaring way possible. I was flabbergasted. I was like, what are we doing here? What's happening? Am I supposed to be like laughing at that scene? Is this cute? Hold on, let me back up because this is the first chapter. This is setting us up for the book. She is sleeping with her roommate. Her roommate is dating a guy who's coming over to make her dinner and the roommate is late. The main character opens the door, lets him in. He starts getting food ready. He is being kind of like snobby about like the kitchen and how non-functioning the apartment kitchen is. And I'm like, it's an apartment. What did you expect? He is nothing compared to her as far as dislikable, because he comes in and he's talking about how he hopes that this is his person, and we know from the main character that she's attracted to the roommate, but then she goes ahead and is like, oh well, like I go between her legs and we're messing around on this couch, the couch that I'm currently sitting on, and is like talking to him, and he kind of like stops cooking for half a second because he's stunned by it. He's also having moments of attraction to her, but he is very clearly introducing himself as the roommate's boyfriend. The main character does not dispute this and also refers to him as the boyfriend. She is not in a serious relationship with the roommate and that they are just messing around, but the roommate is in a committed relationship with the love interest. God, I hope not. I hope he gets out. I'll never know because I'm DNFing this book. This was not really the premise promised. Yes, I don't remember if it said sleeping with the same people or dating the same people. They were not dating the same person, at least in the beginning of this book. Is this happening? Am I dreaming this? I have had a day, okay? I've had a day and I know tomorrow's gonna be another day and days keep happening. Emily Henry did a really good job with the last book of just being light and fluffy. I want to read Funny Story. I'm going to buy Funny Story. I'm gonna buy it as an audiobook on Libro FM. Libro FM, if you don't know about Libro FM, it funds a local bookstore, and I can fund my local bookstore in Alaska, so it kind of feels like I'm still like buying and purchasing from home. It's an indie bookstore. I'm gonna buy Funny Story. I'm gonna go to bed, and then I'll talk to you about hopefully Funny Story being a funny story later.
I don't know if it's just like my mood, how mushy my brain feels, honestly anything else that could have led to this, but Funny Story story is giving me so much comfort and so much joy. I don't even know what's happening to me right now. I am going to be honest with you. This is my second time reading Funny Story because I finished it in one day and started it over again. As much as I wanted to catch it on camera, I have been very kind of holed up. You might have noticed less frequent updates. Some of that is attributed to this being so long, but I've also thought in my head and rationalized if it's already going to be a long vlog, 2 minutes isn't going to make a difference if you make an update or not. I'm just going to be honest, the state of the world is stressing me out and I am clinging on to Funny Story for dear life. I do love these characters. I feel a lot of relatability with both of them. I adore Miles. I think he's so cute and sweet. I think he actually reminds me of my partner, and reading him on page and his mindset kind of reminds me of my partner, and very immersed when reading. But it's been hard to read. It's been hard to update. And I know I've been talking about this off and on, but it's difficult to function right now. When I have no more oomph to function, I have been turning to Funny Story, and I finished it the first time and just thought it was so good. It made me feel good and I thought the characters were really dynamic. I'm so glad that I bought this. I think I'm going to buy it physically. There's actually a couple of these books, or a few, a dozen, I don't know. I've read so many romance books that I'm going to be physically buying. I want to have them on my shelves. I'm gonna be real, I didn't think that I was going to have any rereadability in these books. I've already thought about going back to several of them. I want to read more within each series. Third in line for the Brown Sisters trilogy. I'm really glad I did this vlog, and it feels like it came at the right time for me because I am feeling so stressed and I really do tend to immerse myself in a situation or a stressful situation until I can fix it, and I can't fix this. I can't fix the state of the world, in case you were confused or curious, and that's really upsetting to my nervous system. Reading these hasn't made me feel like I'm turning away from issues. It has been rejuvenating me, and that's something I didn't really think about going into this. I did have a little bit actually more of a snobbish view on escapism in some ways. Not really overtly, but an undercurrent. And not towards other people, but towards myself. It kind of goes back to the hobbies thing. If I'm doing something non-productive, I kind of look down on myself a little bit, even though relaxing and taking care of yourself, self-care, which I think I said at the beginning of this video, is so important to me. It still is something I struggle with, and reading these books really did make me feel comfort and soothing I think I needed in order to function, because not functioning whatsoever is also not helpful. So yeah, just take care of yourself. Realize that there is a balance in all things. We should be speaking up. We shouldn't be normalizing any of the things that are happening right now. ICE agents have killed several people in the United States, both citizens and non-citizens alike, and I will just go ahead and point out the obvious that if you are not a citizen of the United States, you don't die for that. You should not be dying for that. I know this is a romance vlog, but that's one of the beauties of romance, is that it's able to kind of let you escape. I felt like I was able to really rely on that happy ending. I was able to really rely on that happy ending to kind of see me through my lower points in my mental state. That did energize me to go back to the real world. And I feel like I'm repeating myself. I just really want to make it clear that I don't think that it's okay to turn away, but I do think that there is importance in rest and checking in with yourself to see when you could be doing more and when you do need to rest in order to do more later. It's already so long. Let's just get it out. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about these romance books. I made a graphic. I'm gonna go ahead and walk you guys through it, give my star ratings, because I really thought about these books more and I kind of categorized them. So within this graphic, you'll notice there's only like one negative portion of the graphic, and that's the not my type. This doesn't mean that they're bad books. This means that in my discovery of finding out more about myself and my reading style, it was not for me. That doesn't mean that it is a bad book. Then I have two categories that essentially have the same amount of oomph, or it is for me, but they have different tones. There's soft and sweet books, and then fun and flirty books. Fun and flirty really is ultimate comfort read for me. When I do need to escape, I want to escape here. And then soft and sweet is a little bit more like I'm in a okay headspace and I just want to read a story. And it can have romance in it, but it doesn't need to be me seeking out romance is when I would read these sorts of books. It's soft, it's sweet, it is romantic, but it's not me going out and seeking a romance. And then we have my type of romance book. I will seek out books like this, and I can read them at any point in time. For me, they strike the right balance of just doing everything I needed to do. Okay, so that's kind of the setup. Let's go through the books that are my type. First up, we have Ali Hazelwood's Not in Love. This was my first Ali Hazelwood and I really enjoyed it. Did strike a balance. I'm hoping for more of that from her. If you have any recommendations that points me in the right direction for Ali Hazelwood books similar to Not in Love, I think that's more of what I'm looking for than the more formulaic. It felt a little staged in Love Theoretically. Then we're moving on to Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez is a new favorite author for me. Just for the Summer and Say You'll Remember Me were hard hitters. I felt like I was being knocked out by my own emotions. Like I had said earlier, it did kind of feel like therapy. Take a Hint, Dani Brown is one that I keep thinking of, and this has to go to both Dani and Zaf, the two main characters of this. This was dual POV, and I loved and was attracted to them pretty equally. So it kind of felt like a double dose, and they were both funny. I don't think I mentioned in one of the clips, I absolutely love rugby. Zaf being a rugby player was top notch for me. He was my type. I really liked him. So was Dani. I liked how snarky she was and funny and goofy and over dramatic, over the top. I love people who are just 100% authentically themselves. I think that is so attractive. The two of them together and them thinking the other two are attractive, I was having a ball. This was such a win, and I can't wait to pick up more Talia Hibbert to really solidify how I feel about her as an author and where her consistency is. I wish I would have gotten to pick up more in this vlog. Libby just was not in my favor. Libby was also not in my favor for Funny Story. I don't think I can give enough credit to this book. I have been listening to it to fall asleep. I've been just listening to it as I do my commutes. Anytime my mind is feeling overly stressed and I start to kind of spiral, I come back to it. That's a fantastic book to have on hand, especially with February coming up, which is not a fun month for me. These were my type of books. Fun, quirky, like outer shell, and then really deep, rich cores. Then going into fun and flirty, Emily Henry's Happy Place. Yeah, it did feel like a happy place. I did feel like I hopped in, had a happy, good time, and then hopped out. Part of Your World and Love of My Afterlife, same kind of vibe, same kind of feeling. I'm gonna admit to something else here. This is a confessional and not like the priest kind. I am currently listening to Beach Read. I'm almost finished with it. I feel pretty solidified in my star rating. I was looking for more Funny Story after reading Funny Story. It was really good and I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't Funny Story, so I just went back to Funny Story. Sorry, I know that I am all over the place, but that is a core part of my personality. So then Soft and Sweet, Out on a Limb. Loved this book, definitely want it physically. I can see rereading it, especially since I now know what to expect. It had so many different potential for where the plot could go. I had created my own expectations for it, which isn't fair to the book, but I think now that I know where it goes, I know when I'll pick it up again. Least favorite Abby Jimenez was still really good, and that's Yours Truly. I loved the anxiety rep and I loved everything it did. It just felt like it literally was not my type. After those heavy hitters, like there was just no matching it and I had no idea what to do with that. And then Honey Girl. There were so many things I loved about Honey Girl and it just didn't feel like a romance. I really enjoyed exploring Grace. I thought that there was a lot of things that just didn't click or hit. The not my type are pretty self-explanatory. There were 3 DNFs, and that was the Au Pair Affair, Quicksilver, and You Again. The reason why I didn't care for the Au Pair Affair is it really did feel like it was just over the top and it felt like the main character was trying really hard to get us to like her or know her, and she didn't feel authentic. Her reasoning for the problem felt like she was like fabricating tension, and I didn't buy it. I left the situation before I had any more emotions towards it. Quicksilver, I know it's popular. I know that people that I love and respect really like it. It just wasn't for me. It kind of did the same thing as the Au Pair Affair. I mean, it was probably doing very different things than the Au Pair Affair. It had the same effect on me where I was just like, you're not for me. And then You Again, I literally just couldn't get behind those characters. I really didn't like the main character, and I knew I wasn't gonna make it through. I was gonna hate read it, so I DNF'd it, especially since I just ended up buying Funny Story, which was essentially what I was looking for in the beginning anyway, and that's not this book's fault. This book is not to blame for me trying to seek out Funny Story. And then finally, the 2 in this bottom area that are not DNFs that I did finish was Love Theoretically and Priest. Love Theoretically, I probably should have just soft DNF. It kind of turned me off of her a little bit. And then Priest, I actually had such a ball with Priest, but I have enough of a flavor for Sierra Simone that I know that this was not my particular flavor. I think I'll really like her American Queen series because it's going to give me something else besides the sex. Sex alone was not enough for me in that Priest. Well, no, it wasn't enough for me. It was definitely enough for the Priest. Anyway, my 5 stars are as such. Here are my 4.5s, my 3.5s, my 3s, and then I had absolutely no 2s or 1s because I DNF'd, and that's the beauty of that. Okay, so yeah, that is the end of this vlog. I cannot believe I'm saying that. This has been such a long month of reading romance. My brain does feel like mush. I'll be back to making videos soon, but it will be more writing and editing centric. Prepare for that because my book is eventually coming out and I need to do things for it. Go ahead and if you made it this far into the video, leave a heart emoji in your favorite color, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!